Hey guys, it's PlumPines here today. Welcome to my channel, welcome to my first video. So today I'm going to be teaching you how to edit Sims 4 screenshots in Photoshop. Let's dive into it. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to go over to that blur tool. It looks like a little drop, it's right there. And we are going to just blur out the background. So I'm just going to adjust the brush a little bit, and then we're just going to blur out the background. Just to keep our focus on the sim and not at the brightly colored background. This is just an important thing to do in general because it helps shift your focus to the foreground rather than random bits and bobs in the background, and it helps a ton. I really like this screenshot. I edited it once, this exact screenshot on my old channel, but now we're going to go to image and then adjustments, and we're just going to go to brightness and contrast and play around with those a little bit. I like to raise the contrast a lot, and since this is a shot taken at night, I lower the brightness, just so it doesn't have that same, weird lighting, that weird bland lighting that The Sims 4 has in the game. And now we're going to go to color balance, and The Sims 4 has like a weird blue lighting, so I'm going to go like reds and purples for lighting, considering that's also the colors of the background, like the signs in the background, so it makes sense that those are casting light and working on the shadows. So yeah, we're going to go to other settings, and we're just going to play around with those. I like using the shadows and highlights one. And I'm just going to add a lot of shadows and a lot of highlights because I want the signs to, like I said before, I really want the signs to pop, and I want you to be able to see the signs. I don't know, I just think this screenshot was very specific, and I really like doing that. I'm gonna do another one of these videos in the future, but anyway, I'm just going to play around with the shadows again. We'll actually emphasize the shadows in a little while, but just going through adjusting saturation and brightness. I like to have saturation up, but I don't want it too crazy because that doesn't look good. So this is what we went with. I think it looks pretty nice. So I'm just going to adjust the blur, and now we should be making a new layer, but first we're using the burn tool just to adjust shadows, darkness, stuff like that. It doesn't make a very easy to see effect, but it helps a bit just with the overall. So now we're going to use the drawing tool, and we're just going to draw over the shadows. So you don't have to make these lines super perfect. You just kind of have to draw over the shadows. We're going to lower the opacity so it looks fine in the end. It just helps to have the shadows emphasized if it's at night or even during the day. It just helps the lighting. I always go over the shadows, especially with this shot because I want it to seem super dramatic. I really like this shot. I've said it before, but drawing over the lines really helps because once you lower the opacity, you can see the lines better. You can see the shadows, the lighting source, and everything like that, and it's very helpful, and it just adds to the overall vibe. So yeah, now we're gonna go over to the bottom right corner, and we're just gonna lower the opacity. And see, now it looks totally fine. It just added to the effect. I do continue drawing, like wherever there's shadow, I try to draw just because it helps. And you'll see I'll make a new layer just to draw under the different objects just to emphasize, and then I'm gonna blur them out. It just kind of helps. The whole point is you want to make the different objects in the foreground stand out, and the background, you want it to work for you, but you don't want it to take over the entire shot. So I'm just gonna, emphasize those shadows again here. It helps a lot to emphasize the shadows when you want to see where the object is having light cast on it. If the object is creating light, like those background billboards, stuff like that. It just helps, and it also adds some dramatic effect, some haze to it. It just really makes it look so much better. So now we're just kind of, again, we're adding some darkness. I go into paint in a second, and I just kind of add, like, through the darkness, wherever there's the darkest spots, I try to emphasize that dark. You just really want to overemphasize all the colors. Just like when you're, doing a speech, you want to enunciate or over-enunciate. You want to over-exaggerate the colors. Now we're just going to highlight the sim. Well, technically, we draw some lines around the sim, and that helps, like I said, for the sim to pop against the background. So you're just going to want to add a thin line of whatever color is the primary color, I guess, on your sim's, screenshot, and you just want to outline them in that. I like to use black for this shot just because of the way it looks. And it's okay if you mess up, just erase it. It doesn't have to be perfect lines since, again, we're going to be lowering the opacity. So, yeah, we're just going to work on that. I'm very proud of the way this turned out in the end. You'll see at the very end of this video what it turned out looking like. So if you want to see the final product, stick around until the end for a before and after. It was kind of hard to do this because she has bell-bottom jeans on, and it's kind of difficult to highlight the jeans because of the way they flow. But yeah, now I'm just adjusting the lines, and we're going to lower the opacity. It looks kind of weird at first, but then once you kind of blur it together, it looks totally fine. So that's a tool we're going to be using right now, the blur tool. I'm just gonna really quickly put that over all of it so that it, looks a little bit nicer. I really think the blur tool is a very helpful tool. You'll see how quick, how it really drastically changed the background. But yeah, thank you for watching and enjoy the before and after. Don't forget to subscribe, like, leave a comment, and I will see you next time. Bye.